Hi everyone, I'm Seth, the voice of Lyrian. Thanks for listening to Riftwalkers. If you want to connect with the cast and other fans of the show, join our Discord channel. There's a link in the episode description. Now, please enjoy another episode of Riftwalkers.
So last time, the party, during their attempt to leave the cave, fought the spirit embodied once more in a strange form. Luca, meanwhile, was saved, but only through making a sinister deal with an unknown being, arriving back with the party in the nick of time to save them. Explaining what little he knew and what little he could, the group then determined to leave Yellowford behind, in hopes of saving Luca's life and repaying the debt he now owed. They stepped through a portal and crashed into a barn in some unknown location, sending a child screaming, a local woman hefting a spear, now running toward them at full speed.
Seeing this woman charging the barn full on, Reese steps back inside and shuts the door.
Vamok, having caught a glimpse of the woman, stands up from the hay and says,
Reese, you would cower before a woman with a spear.
No.
I will meet her.
and without even waiting for Reese to, Reese is sitting there, no. And Vamok just walks past him and goes to the door and woof, flings it open.
So, standing in the doorway now is Vamok, and the woman gets within 10 feet and then skids to a stop, holding her spear aloft in a practiced stance. And she says, "The town watchman is already on his way, you thieves. Who in Vale's name are you?"
I am Vamok. And who in Vale's name are you?
"I am Mirella." And then she kind of puts the spear at her side, and she kind of cocks her head because you speak pretty good Fellish. And continuing in Fellish, she says, "How did a Valing like yourself come this far east in the Vale?"
I do not know of these veilings you speak of. You seem shocked that I am even able to communicate at all. Where are we?
"We are at my farmstead, not too far outside the town of Dannon."
And at this point, Reese kind of sticks his head back out and starts shimmying around the doorway because Vamok's kind of still standing there, but he gets out standing next to Vamok. And we are truly sorry about causing any disturbance or scaring. I'm assuming that was your child?
"It was. And you fell through the roof of my barn.
Yes.
I expect you to pay for that."
Very well.
And Vamok reaches down, grabs a small pouch filled with some coins, and he says,
Take your payment.
And she grabs it out of the air and quickly looks inside, and her eyes go wide. How much gold is in there?
10.
10 gold pieces of old world money.
Yeah.
She latches the pouch to her belt and says, "But a moment. Generosity must be repaid, of course, in such trying times as these." And at this moment, you see a quite out-of-breath man running through the fields. He's like 6'2", and he's all suited up, and he's got a big old sword in his hands. And he comes to a skidding stop beside the woman who has identified herself as Mirella. And he says, "Oi, Mirella, I made it just in time. There's some commotion. Saw one of your children running out. I'm here. What's going on? Who is?" And he looks right at Vamok, and he's like, "Oh, bloody Vale. That's a Valing, that is." And he looks at Reese next. And are Luca and Lyrian, are you inside the barn able to be seen, or are you still hiding?
Luca is not really hiding. He's pretty obviously right there in the barn, the right outside. There's not a ton of room out there.
And Lyrian is just at the doorway.
So then this man turns to Mirella, and he's like, "What kind of company are you keeping on your property, Mirella?"
Could we hear that?
Yeah.
Okay, so Reese kind of steps forward a little bit as soon as he says that. You are the captain of the guard, is that right?
Town watchman, actually.
The town watchman, very well. You are...
My name is Gallon.
Gallon, and Reese extends his hand out to shake it.
Gallon gingerly steps forward and grips your hand. It's a bit of a limp shake.
Reese returns with a firm shake. You're just the man, actually, we wanted to see. We're traveling through here, and we're actually looking for a bit of work. As you can tell, my compatriots and I are fairly well versed in the art of battle, and we merely want to do good wherever we go. And surely the town watchman would be privy to any information or deeds that need doing.
Mirella kind of takes a strong step forward and is like, "Well, I can give you your gold back if you repair my barn." And Mirella steps forward, holding out the little pouch of gold and wiggling it in front of her.
Reese kind of puts his hand out, just politely gesturing for her to keep it. I'm afraid we do not have enough time for that. We really must get to our true calling, but I think your friend Gallon here can do that. I certainly hope that gold is enough that you can find a few hands to help.
Morella puts the gold back on her belt and just sort of leans against her spear in the crook of her arm, and she's like, "You look for work? Then refuse honest pay, even if it is your own damned money." "I agree. There's something not right with you folk." And his hand hovers above his weapon. "Tell us, what's your true purpose here?"
Like I said, we're just travelers trying to do what we're good at, and unfortunately we're not very good at repairing roofs.
Do a persuasion roll for me, Brett.
18.
Morella looks displeased, but she's not going to press it any further.
Luca, having heard the conversation up to this point, finally steps out of the barn and addresses them both, saying, "More important than anything is that we know where we are. Where is this farmstead of yours?"
"Why, I've already said, you're in Dunnan."
"That means little to me, and I assume it means little to any of us. Do you have a map or something, just a reference point that we could use?"
Gallon and Morella both take on incredulous looks as you ask for their aid, but then something happens. Almost imperceptibly, their countenance changes. A wisp of wind blows at something hanging, tugging at Gallon's shoulder, his arm, like the thinnest strand of silk, caught for a second by the light, and then it's gone. Gallon fishes through one of his big old bags and satchels that he carries with him. "I may be able to fish something out of here." And he reaches in, and there's kind of a stained little snippet of a map, and he's like, "Well, this will have to suffice if nothing else." And he hands it over.
So Luca takes the map and he starts looking at it. And I mean, honestly, it's about as meaningless as where Dunnan is, because he doesn't know any landmarks. He doesn't know anything relative to anything else. And so for a second, he's staring at it. He's thinking, he's wondering, where do I go from here? And it's just like, in for a penny, in for a pound.
And Gallon actually continues after he's like, "Oh, you say you're looking for honest work, and, well, you do seem to be the fatally type. I don't know if our Lord would like us saying this, but..." And he kind of gives a shy look to Morella. She's like, "No, please, by all means, go on, Gallon." And then he looks back at the four of you and says, "Well, we have had some trouble in the province of late. These lands here belong to our good Baron, Kincaid Huttle. But over the past little while, he's been losing a lot of holdings to foreign agents, defecting minor lords, or, as rumour has it, invaders from Taylor to the east. I don't know if they're ever going to come this far west as Dunnan, but I've heard whispers from Loanne, the town just east of here on the River Neck."
And are they marauders, bandits, or are they organized?
Marauders and bandits is at least what the public's been told. Another glimpse of glinting light off something in the air, this time above Morella as she takes a step forward. "But anyone with half a brain knows that they are without a doubt the soldiers and workers of Count Algier of Almorin." So at the mention of Count Algier, Luca, the mark on your forehead begins to burn quite a bit.
Luca, trying to hold in his pain, trying not to let it show on his face, he just turns back and says, "This Algier fellow, what can you tell me about him?"
Gallon kind of spits on the ground, and Morella adopts quite a snarly expression on her face. And Gallon goes, "That's right, you'll find none more filthy than Pharaoh Algier. Right bastard he is. Calls himself Count. But his claim to nobility is probably as shit as he is. Our lord, like I said, Baron Huttle, has been losing land in power to the Count for a good many months now. Taking the Baron's ancestral lands, that Count has. Godless wretch." And then Morella kind of steps forward and says, "If you wish to keep your true purpose a secret, I do not blame you. But if you wish to do right by this people," and she kind of gives you a knowing look, "by this world, then rid it of Count Algier. Gallon speaks the truth. You will not find a more vile man. And now I'm sure we only know the half of things. What we do know is bad enough. If you travel east from here, following the road, you should reach Loan by nightfall. Another day after that, and you will be in Almorin, the seat of the Count himself. You wish to do good? Wish to do honest work for honest pay? Then your reward will be freeing a people sorely oppressed by a dangerous and terrible man."
Reese kind of shoots Luca a look and just says, "Well, I think that should do, yes?"
Luca, nods his head. Indeed.
Very well. And Reese turning back to Marilla and Gallon, thank you very much for directing our path. Sorry again about the barn. I truly do hope you can find someone to help with that. But we will be on our way.
I will take a repayment in the form of assurance that the Count's marauders do not storm our town and murder our children. Gallon actually goes to, he holds out his hand for the map back.
As you see Gallon approaching with his hand out, you see Lyrian closing a notebook and putting it in his pack, and he then hands Gallon the map.
Gallon looks at the four of you and says, "Could we not trouble you to stay a while longer?"
We must be on our way.
Very, very well. I'll write up a report about this, cover the barn and such. Where should I send it to?
Wherever you wish. It is of no consequence to us.
Then we just walk away. That's it.
That's what you're doing? Everyone's gone?
Well, Vamok's walking away.
Luca's walking away, Larry and Reese.
Vamok at this point, I guess, so you guys know where Vamok's coming from. He is tired. His magic has strained him. He is burned. He is deeply unsettled at Luca just appearing with only, very minor wounds. So he's kind of done. He doesn't want to sit around chit-chatting about the fire and, singing Kumbaya with everybody. He's like, fine, let's get on the road.
Yeah. Reese probably would be the last one unless Lyrian does as well, but he just shakes both their hands and then departs.
Lyrian he looks at them and says, "Thank you for your time and sorry for any inconvenience we caused you."
And as you leave, glancing behind you, the two of them stay perfectly still, staring at you as you go.
Hey, did anyone else notice? No, never mind. That just seemed too easy.
Perhaps, but why shouldn't it be? Maybe they feared us. Power breeds fear, and fear makes everything easier.
As you pass through Dunnan and leave Mirella and Gallon behind, night begins to fall the further you travel.
During travel, Vamok used a couple of hit dice, took a short rest to get some hit points back, help out with the burn from the goo wall, and regain his spell slots.
Great. By the time you reach what should be the town of Lawan, it's pitch black. But the town isn't any brighter. No lights, no lanterns, nothing.
Is there any moonlight?
No, it is a new moon.
Luca, not having dark vision, he's carrying his candle out in front of him to see, because he cannot see in the dark.
Is anyone else creating light besides Reese?
Reese's face flashlight is on.
Yep.
Lyrian's good. He's actually a little bit of ahead of the party. He does have dark vision.
Vamok is not creating any light source. He's just following kind of with the group.
Okay. So as you work your way into Lawan, the sounds of the river that cuts straight through it are really all there is to hear. Doors and windows have been battered open, debris lies on the streets, and puddles of blood stick to your boots as you pass.
Well, this is a bit strange, Reese says, as he's he actually says that, and he kind of picks up his boot, and he's slowly drawing his greatsword.
Looking about, Luca can't see as well as everyone else, but there still being puddles, lacking any sort of coagulation, and it just drying out. Luca is after he notices that there's blood on the floor, he immediately starts trying with his candle to see if he can identify a source.
So going through the streets, looking at the blood, following the trails, you come to a small plaza and then a central bridge that goes over the river that bisects the town itself. As you approach it, you hear a strange, shrill sound from the dark, but it passes. On the other side, it seems there is a plaza. In its center, a great mass of something. It's unclear from this distance.
Luca draws his sword, but begins to move forward to investigate.
How are we spread out right now? Are we still clumped together? Because Reese was pretty much just walking in a straight line. Did Luca break off when he was investigating that?
Yeah. He started breaking off, kind of going on the sides of the road, following the rivulets as it ran down from the central mass where he thinks is the origin, to see if there was a secondary place. So he's kind of crossing across the roads. He is, however, taking care to be as quiet as possible, because if you see blood on the ground, you don't yell and scream and stomp. Though he is carrying a candle, so on a pitch black night, there's less reason to, but he's trying.
Okay.
Are you crossing the bridge then?
Yeah, he's moving forward. He's
Okay.
going in that direction.
And Lyrian is further than that, right?
Yes.
So Lyrian is across the bridge.
Yes.
And then Vamok, are you still with me?
Yeah. I don't actually think Vamok has dark vision, so he's just been sticking with you.
Okay.
So For all intents and purposes, Lyrian and Luca are at the same spot. So, this great mass in the center of this plaza is a large wooden form of poles and sticks and bodies. The wood, in your candlelight and dark vision at least, seems charred, almost as black as the night sky, as is the flesh of the dozens of corpses who rest upon it.
Does it look like a pyre?
Yes, where these people were burned.
Are any of the corpses that we saw unburned, or have they all been burned pretty well to a crisp, or is it like more of tried to start a pyre, burned for a bit, kind of got put out?
No, it's like this thing went out naturally after all its fuel was gone.
Lyrian looks to Luca and kind of raises his arm, giving him a stop gesture. It may be best if we find Reese and Vamak.
To be honest, I think that the best thing that we can do is get out of here. I don't know what did this, but I don't think there's anything that we can do that will change the outcome. We should go.
How close are Reese and Vamak?
By this point, Vamak and Reese have crossed the bridge and caught up to Lyrian and Luca.
What did you guys find? Why did you stop?
There seems to be some kind of pyre ahead. We wanted to wait for a little bit of backup before we progressed.
And Reese peeks over his shoulder, kind of takes a look at it. Yes, I think we should give this a wide berth. And he looks to see if there's a path that would lead them still forward towards their destination, but avoiding this mass of things.
As you look about, shining your light around you, you hear a snarl from the other side of the pile, and then suddenly, out of the darkness, a strange creature leaps right at Reese. Do a dexterity saving throw.
No. 11.
So you are seized upon by this creature, which, in this light, you can see has like a long snout. It doesn't seem to have any eyes, but it has massive pointed ears and long clawed fingers and a wide tail that streams out behind it. And it just envelops you in its big black fur as it starts to bite and claw at you, dealing 7 damage.
Scream of pain.
As Reese screams in pain, Vamak does not hesitate to quickly let off a bolt of Eldritch Blast at the creature to try to knock it off of Reese.
All right, you will have disadvantage.
Oh, no es bueno, amigos.
Oh, that's a nat 1.
Oh, no.
All right, roll for damage.
That's not the one with 68, right?
No, that's only 8 force damage, and you get knocked 10 feet.
So does that actually work? Can he knock Reese out from underneath this thing?
Yeah, that's exactly what happens.
Well, it's dark out. Sorry, guys.
So Reese gets blasted back 10 feet and takes how much damage?
8.
8 damage.
And this is away from them, right? Like towards the pyre?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Seeing that, Lyrian draws his bow and in quick succession he aims at the beast that attacked Reese and fires. 19.
All right, that is a hit.
8 damage.
Okay, your arrow sticks in one of its hind legs and it lets out a little shriek.
And the second one, nat 1.
Your bowstring snaps.
He got a little too excited after that first shot. I'm assuming that's the end of my turn.
Yes. Everyone roll initiative.
17 for Reese.
8 for Vamak.
13 for Luca.
10 for Lyrian.
All right, it will go the monsters and then all the players.
Monsters. Interesting.
Oh. So this one that Lyrian just hit turns its attention toward him and then leaps at him, sort of trying the same maneuver as it had attacked Reese with, but as you duck down, it kind of sails right over your head and lands by the bridge. A second one emerges from the shadows of a house next to where Reese has landed and comes out and tries to swipe at him with these big, jagged-looking claws. But Reese is able to roll out of the way, and since it failed so spectacularly, one might say critically, Reese, I will allow you to expend movement to stand up and be in a ready position.
He does so.
All right, players.
Luca, seeing Reese, having stood up, still in a bad position, being the only guy who actually got hit, moves toward the area to stab this bad boy in the back. 20.
Nat 20?
No, total of 20.
Okay. That's a hit.
Fat 20.
Dealing 17 damage to the beast in front of him.
Finish it off.
This beast runs towards Reese, and Luca, quickly steps towards it and stabs it straight through the throat.
Gargles on its own blood and then dies in a dark heap on the ground.
Reese, standing up, having his greatsword at the ready, sees the beast in front of him get just massacred by Luca, and then he turns his attention towards the other one. How far away is he from it?
15 feet.
Okay, so he closes the distance pretty easily, and he goes in for an attack. 18?
That hits.
Sweet. Dealing 16 damage?
This is the one by the bridge, yeah?
Yes, the one that Marcus was trying to hit, but he didn't.
Yeah. Finish it off.
So he steps up as it's kind of growling at Luca and Lyrian and just cuts its head clean off with his greatsword.
So as this second one dies, you hear other snarls and kind of yelps in the dark echoing throughout the town, but they seem to recede into gentle silence, where now, again, the only sound is the river.
I think we should get out of here as quickly as possible.
I agree. Reese, my apologies.
Not a problem. It's dark outside. Come on, let's go. And he starts heading, kind of just making a beeline for the city limits towards where they need to go, eastward.
Lyrian's just, I'll be along in a second. And he bends down towards this creature and cuts it open to try to find a replacement for his bowstring.
Perform a medicine check, please, to perform really crude surgery on this dead animal. You'll have advantage.
Oh, sweet. 15.
You salvage some gut, but it'll take you a while to fashion it and sort of string it into something that's usable.
Fair enough.
All right, then Lyrian runs after the party.
Yes.
So it's not long till you reach the borders of Loan, and now you are once again on the road, surrounded by large thickets of trees and brush.
So after traveling several miles, like we've gone a long time, Luca, he's just exhausted. The near death and the coming alive again and the traveling at night has just worn him down. He turns to everyone, out of breath, tired, and says, I'm not sure that I can continue. Might be best that we stop now. I think we're far enough from the one that at least no harm from those things will come to us.
I agree. We need our rest if we are to make it through this perilous journey.
As this camp is being made, Lyrian, he's like, I can take first watch. I need to deal with this as he's holding this piece of gut. I have much work I need to do on this.
Very well. And Reese unrolls his bedroll and lays down.
So as Lyrian kind of steps outside the bounds of this camp that you've erected to take first watch, the three of you have then settled around a small campfire with your bedrolls.
Luca, looking at the other two companions here with him, he says, I am grateful that you decided to come with me. I knew no matter what happened that I would have to take this journey, and it is easier knowing that you trust me enough to take it at my side.
Honestly, Luca, with everything we've experienced just in the short time we've been in this new world, what else would we do? Not to say that we don't want to stay with you, but we need to stick with those that we can trust. And for now, for me, that's you three.
Luca,
Yes,
I have some questions for you.
and I promised that I would answer.
It was quite a long fall in the cave.
Indeed.
This being, it healed you.
Yes, it brought me back from... Honestly, I could almost say it brought me back from death. I'm not convinced that my soul had not left my body.
And what exactly did it want in return?
Merely asked me to reap evil souls using this, and he holds up the dagger and proffers it to Vamok, should he be interested in grabbing it.
Vamok takes it, examines it, runs his finger, along the blade.
Most curious.
Yes, well, I couldn't really agree more. My home, magic is something you only hear of, something used across the mountains, and here it seems like an even stranger and more dangerous occupation.
Yes, I agree. The magic of this place is different. But I do not trust it. This deal you have made. You have bound yourself to this creature.
I had no choice from the moment that I was brought back. It inflicted this upon me, not by any desire of my own.
The thing that troubles me most, Luca, is what happens when your debt is paid. This doesn't sound like a being who will just let you go.
I do not know, and to be honest, I am not sure that it would be possible to pay this debt. I don't even know what an evil soul is, and yet I must find 100 of them. It is hopeful that we can find some other way to get from this, but until then, maybe this Count Algier, whomever he is, could be something that could stave off this being. I, with you, do not trust it.
But for now, I think it is good that we go about its bidding. I would be interested to receive an audience with it, to learn more of it, to learn of its magic, of its power.
Luca kind of chuckles lightly and just, even you, my friend, would not like that experience.
You do not know much about me. And Vermont goes to sleep.
Luca looks uncomfortable, definitely dwelling on a very strange experience, definitely surreal, but he too eventually lies down and tries to sleep.
So at some point, Lyrian returns from first watch, and one of you takes up the second watch.
Probably Reese.
Okay. And then the night goes on without any sort of further distress. So any minor wounds that you have are healed.
Woohoo!
Whatever disadvantages were being imposed are now gone. And as everyone is sort of waking up in the morning, there's actually a woman kicking at Luca, who's a little closer to the road than everyone else. A large and long caravan of about 5 wagons behind her, each one flanked by a pair of armed guards. This woman wears an immaculate dress and looks down at the 4 of you as if you were common trash.
Is this a vigorous kick, or is this a kind of nudge with her foot?
Oh, it's a vigorous kick.
You know, in my homeland, one does not kick those lying on the ground, but instead helps them up.
And in my homeland, we kick those beneath us. So, you, being beneath me currently, have been kicked. Stand, and maybe that will change.
Luca, very grumpy from waking up, stands up, looking at her and says, "Well, now that I am no longer beneath you, except for I'm sure as you think by station, what can I do for someone as ill-tempered as yourself?"
My name, and she holds out her hand a bit daintily for you to presumably kiss, and she just waits.
And Luca just waits, and there's this really awkward silence as they both look at each other.
And then she finally looks at him again, lowers her hand, and raises one eyebrow. She's like, "My name is Tristra. And you 3, she says, pointing sort of in turn to Luca, Reese, and Lyrian, are in possession of a veiling, and I would very much like to know where you got one."
Well, Tristra, it pains me to inform you that we are in fact not in possession of anyone. However, I believe you must be referring to our friend here, Vermont, gesturing toward Vermont, and he is in fact in possession of himself.
And she kind of looks at Vermont, and she's like, "So, he is your traveling companion?"
Yes.
"And might I inquire where you're heading?"
We are heading towards Almoran.
She kind of just takes in a deep breath and puts her hands on her hips and just sighs and shakes her head. And she's like, "Well, best of luck if the guards don't shoot you on sight."
Reese kind of stepping in now at this point. And why would they? Do the people of Almoran have anything against veilings?
The Count in particular is quite interested in the trade of such beings as of late. In fact, and she kind of motions to the carriages behind her, which, as you examine more closely, seem to be, at least 3 of them, look more like prison cells. "We are transporting some very valuable cargo. And if you wouldn't mind the proposition, I could add your friend to that bunch for a generous sum. I mean, unless, of course, you want to die at the gates of Almoran."
At this, Vermont, who is, awake by this point, approaches and says,
I would like to see them try.
"Oh, my dear large friend, they will try very much so, and I assure you, they are quite good shots."
Well, what would you propose, then, to a traveling band such as ours seeking entrance?
"Well, I see you're not traders of person or persons such as your friend here, so I must ask, what is your business in Almoran?"
Well, you see, my name is Sir Reginald. This here, he says, pointing to Luca, is Sir Gentry, and this, pointing to Lyrian, is Sir Percival.
Brett, roll persuasion, please.
All right, that was like a 9.
Luca steps forward, puts his hand on Reese's shoulder, and says, "Reese, I don't believe I have ever heard a worse liar."
What are you talking about, Sir Gentry?
Turning to Tristra, he says, "I assume your proposition is that he accompany you then, and we could, for a price, have him return to us as we arrive inside Almoran?"
"Why, yes, I think that would do quite well. I mean, I usually pick up one of these veilings for anywhere between 6 and 7 bolts of gold. So, double that. Half now, half once you're inside, and I'll take your friend to safety, and we'll just whisk him in, and you can whisk him away once you're safely inside the city.
Luca, turning towards Tristram. Miss Tristra, I believe you take me for a fool. Well, I have no doubt that you would make a mighty sum off of any one of those. Only a fool would give you so much for merely taking their friend here inside. However, if you would be considering it, I don't have any bolts of gold, but I carry with me these medallions. And he shows her one of his old imperial coins, and he says, and while this is not a bolt, it is in fact of great value, and I'm sure you will find in these parts fairly unique.
She snatches it from your hand and bites down it immediately, and she's like, I'll take all you have then, and I'll return the half of it once your friend is safely inside and in your hands again.
Very well. And so he gives over his purse, just to take all you being me, have, and he hands it over. She can have the gold.
And she looks at it mighty hungrily, and then she stashes it in the folds of her dress.
Vermak looks at the others and says,
I feel very uneasy about this.
And Tristra waves down one of her guardsmen. She goes, clap him in irons and put him in the back one.
He will do no such thing.
Unless you want to get run through at the gates when they're searching through my cargo, you will.
Then provide me with the key as well.
Do a persuasion roll.
yeah, 15.
All right, yeah, that is enough, actually. And Tristra kind of gives a smug little harumph and then pulls out a very large keychain and starts flipping through them. She finds the corresponding key, takes it from the ring, and hands it to you.
Okay, Vermak takes it, puts it underneath his tongue. Classic. And then he puts his hands together to be shackled.
She snaps her fingers, and one of the guardsmen comes over with a pair of iron binders.
As Vermak does that, Luca just turns to him and says, I am grateful for your desire and your willingness to help me. And while I believe you are right to be cautious and wary of this woman and her trade in particular, I will not let us leave without you. We will make sure that you return to us.
You had better, Luca, for I belong to no man but myself.